guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Fumi Army, and if you're returning, welcome back. Here I talk about motherhood, motivation, health, vlogs, lifestyle, generally things that affect us as people. So today I want to talk about age appropriate talk on sexuality. I know this is not this as parents. This is something, well, if you're not a parent yet and you're hoping to become a parent one day, you can save this video, or if you have friends that are parents, you can send it to them, because this is going to be very valuable. So we need to have this. It's very important to have this age appropriate talk on sexuality with children. For some reason, as parents, like, kind of talking personally, from Africa, and I cannot remember my parents sitting me down to have this conversation with me, like this sexuality conversation with me. I think what I can remember when I got into like teenage years, that have like menstrual periods and stuff, and then my mom had then she had like some conversation with me. But the truth is, you don't your child does not necessarily have to wait till age 13 for you to have that conversation with your child. I feel like the discussion or the discuss on body basics should actually start at around age 5. Now, I'm not an expert, but I mean, I did a lot of research, especially when my daughter started asking me a lot of questions. I was like, how do I, how your child asks you a question you don't want to answer, and you're trying to like dance around the bush, and you're like postponing it or something like that, especially when you don't want to answer. But the truth is, you need to have this discussion about body basics with your child around that 5, telling them, calling names of body parts appropriately, and using the right words to describe body parts and stuff like that. That's always very important. And also to discuss about, pubertal changes. That can start like around the age between 7 and 9 years old. Some children do have what is called precocious puberty, so you have to have that conversation with them. For as in, you see children as early as 8 years old having already, like, they have like hearing at the armpits and the private parts, and the child is just a child, does not know. And then, so it's very important to just have some conversations with these children, and you have to tailor it to their emotional maturity, right? You have to make sure that it's graded. You can't just download everything on on a child like that. You have to make sure it is age appropriate, and you have to make sure it's appropriate. But the truth is, we cannot shy away from these conversations, because if you don't have these conversations, who's gonna have it? Or you want to leave it to their friends, right? Or you want to leave it to your neighbor, or you want to leave it to the teacher in school, or you can't do that. I have a son, I have a daughter who already in like elementary school, and like last school year, they sent us like this consent forms, like if we want them to have this sort of if we wanted them to watch this educational material on, like, on sexuality, some sort of sexuality content. They wanted us to sign consent and send it back to them. So maybe if we wanted our children to be a part of that. And I struggled a little bit with it, because I wanted to know, what is this content? What are they showing? What do they want to tell my child? And so it's always, as parents, we kind of feel a little bit on the edge sometimes, because they're like, what are they telling my child? Are they telling them too much and stuff like that? So I mean, eventually I found out it was kind of appropriate to shed the talking points, and so we kind of knew. So I eventually agreed and stuff like that. So it has to be age appropriate. You can't just download all the information on the little child just at once. You have to make sure it's age appropriate. Now, some important tips, I kind of did like I said, did my research, check out a lot of resources, and you kind of find out that it's just never too early to talk to your child about sex, as long as it is graded and appropriate. Now, when I talk about sex, I'm not talking about, what I mean. So first of all, know the private parts, call it the appropriate names. Like, I remember when I saw was more younger, there was a time, I'd be like, oh yeah, so it will call like his private part the P. And I'm like, it's not a P, okay? So, but you know what I mean. So you need to have this age appropriate graded conversation with your children. And it is important for children to feel okay about coming to you for reliable, honest information. Like I said, what majorly stemmed me doing this video was because my 7-year-old daughter was asking me, Mommy, where do babies come from? So I knew that, oh, she's ready for me to have that conversation with her. When a child starts, how will you know when a child is ready for you to have this conversation? When a child starts asking you questions, you need to answer them correctly, honestly. I mean, like I said, age appropriately, but you have to be honest. You can't tell them, oh, babies are stocks bring babies, or you just wake up and find babies and stuff like that. You have to tell them the truth. And so you make sure the information is honest, and you have to tell them about their bodies. You need to tell them about these things, because if you don't, who will? You have to explain things at a level that a child will understand. you know you want to make sure that they get the whole fact. So I think one important tip about doing this is you want to make sure that you keep it short, you keep it sweet, and you keep it honest. Don't lie to them. So in my line of research, okay, like I said, I have an 8-year-old boy and I have a 7-year-old girl at this point, and I did it because when my daughter started asking me those questions, I knew it was time, so I had to have that conversation. But in my research, because I mean, I'm not an expert, so I had to find out how best to do this, because we keep talking about age appropriate. What is age appropriate? How much is too much? What do I need to tell this child? What does this child need to know? Okay, so like I said, I did a little bit research, and I found out materials that were very helpful, for me having that conversation. So I got this book. This is not a paid service announcement. This is just me sharing what is useful to me, what I found helpful, and I'm sharing it with you guys if you feel it's helpful and if you know someone that can benefit as well. So I got this book. It's New York Times bestseller. It's titled "It's Not the Stork." Okay, so this is a very, very important, useful resource that I got, and I read. So the way I did this, I started reading the chapters from like the beginning. I kind of went through. It's just kind of, talking about different, like, just basic stuff, like questions, so many questions and things like that. Girls do this, boys do that, in the subsequent chapters, same, different, talking about how boys and girls are different and things like that, and specifically head to toe, like a picture, of a body part of a girl's body part, picture of a boy's body part, and things like that. So when I got to this page, actually, I kind of sort of separated them. So I went over that part with a girl, and then I went over the boy part with a boy, just to kind of, I mean, so I kind of did that, and then I stopped at that point. Like I said, I stopped at that point because I was like, okay, fine. So this is the girl needs to know this, and then the boy needs to. But I kind of started out by, kind of involving both of them so they know and things like that. So this book is a very, very, very valuable resource that you want to get if you have a child that is less than 10 years old or thereabout. You want to, like, between like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll understand this is very, very important to resource. And then I also got these 2 books as well. What's happening to me? This book, this is for the girl, and then I also got this one, What's Happening to Me, for the boy. So these books, I don't think is appropriate for like 7, 8-year-olds yet. So I'm gonna keep it till they kind of get to like the, when it gets a little bit closer to the teenage years, before I kind of go over those with them. But one thing as parents we need to do in having this appropriate talk on sexuality with our children is you want to make sure you keep it short, you keep it sweet, you keep it honest, and also you want to make sure that you educate yourself, get resources, useful resources that will be helpful in having these meaningful conversations with our children. And also you want to make sure that you are a safe haven, a safe source of information for your child. Be friendly with your children so that they come to you to find out about these things, to ask questions from you. If there's anything bothering them, then they can easily ask questions, because they know that mommy, daddy will tell me the truth, and they'll educate me and let me know what I need to know. All right, guys. So when I say come your way, I want us to, stay lifted, because indeed life is beautiful. As we continue our journey of intentional parenting and all the good stuff, I pray that we will do well. All right, people, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Take care.